Um, Welcome everyone to the stream. So let me check 1 second if the stream is okay. Okay, so the idea is to so I'm going to begin. So you probably know what Rescatux is. If you don't know, you search it in Google. So it's a Debian libcd. So it's now based on Debian Jessie, and after some days it will be based on Debian Stretch. So Debian Jessie is a 8th version from Debian. Debian Stretch, it's what's the name? It's 9, number 9 version. So we use the live build technology. So there are some stuff that we want to do when porting to Stretch. So first of all, make sure to use Stretch repo, then create a branch for Stretch, hit branch for Stretch, chroot. Then use, this is not what's the name, instead of this is not something that you need to do when porting to Stretch, but I always wanted to use LXQT since it began. Sorry, I always wanted to use LXQT since it was released, and now that there's a package in Debian Stretch, so we are going to use it. Another thing, that's the tails greeter. So port to Stretch. There's another thing for our customizations to Stretch. Another thing that tails greeter is what it appears when you put Rescatux. Another thing, let me think. Another thing that so there's this thing. So live build hacks. So pour them if needed. So I have some hacks about the boot live build. So maybe they are already in Debian Stretch. We will figure it out. Okay. And so that's it. So the idea is to try to make a minimal Stretch libcd with and so port THT and TH and Rescap to Stretch. So this is already done in theory, so we will see how it goes. So because Rescap is the main Rescatux program, so the idea is so first quick idea, make a bootable and functional Stretch libcd based on live build. Thanks to live build. Okay, So that's that's what we want to do. Okay. So what I'm going to do, first of all, I'm going to show you how does Rescatux looks nowadays. This is the last version which was used in okay, one second. So wait a moment. What you are seeing here, it's a Rescatux based on, let me see if I can. So this is Rescatux based on Debian Jessie. So I'm going to show you. So the menu was a hack to live build so that it had UEFI boot support and at the same time BIOS support. So this is supposedly integrated into Stretch, but I'm not sure if I had some other hacks. So this is the Tails greeter modified. So as you can see, I can select language, which is going to change my country and my keyboard, all from the login screen. So that this is the Tails greeter. And finally, there's a button so that you can enter into the graphical interface. Okay. So once you enter, so what you have seen, it's modified because the original one has more options that we don't need in Rescatux. So this is the Rescatux. So this is LXDE, the classical LXDE with network manager, which usually people use WICD, and this is the Rescap that starts when you starts at boot and other programs. But this is what we want, is just be able to boot into LiveCD, and that's it. So I'm going to shut down Rescatux. So first of all, I'm going to prepare myself. So I'm going to, you're not seeing it, so I'm going to do a theods root into Stretch, and going to do it twice into what's the name of this, into tabs from console. So and the other thing that I'm going to do is we're going to begin with the stuff that we want to do, such as create a new branch, a new hit branch, and so on. So I'm going to have like 4 tabs, and we will see what we do with them. So okay, I'm going to put this aside. Let's see if I can, more or less. So this is the console. Let me see if I can manage to work with this, which is the name of this, which this so this is the theods root. So this is a Stretch theods root. So the first thing I'm going to do is to update the theods root so that it's up to date. because there has been many changes from the first time that yeah. Is this working okay or not? Or do I have something wrong in my resolve.conf? Well, okay. So while we wait, we can take a look with status. So there's two txt which are not part of repo. So I'm not sure. Yeah, I think I can delete both of them, because this is all the stuff that I was keeping around. So now we are in branch. What's the name? Branch Jessie. So I'm going to create the stretch branch. So now I'm in a stretch branch, and I'm going to put a lot of commits in order to port to. Okay, so what's the problem with you? Is this a problem with okay, so is this a problem with resolution? It seems so. Yeah. So somehow, okay. Yeah, somehow this is wrong. So I'm going to fix it. So now, okay. So now I resolve, and now I'm going to be able to update every package on this chroot, so that everything is up to date. Okay, so we have already created the Git branch. We are on the stretch chroot if we need to build, and then I have more tabs which are outside the stretch chroot, but what's this? KID. So the idea. So okay, let me change this name. Debian Stretch. So this next time. So this is going to be called E366 because that's the stretch chroot about. And let me install Beam, which is a nice thing to have around. So okay, so the first thing so let's take a look at the GIT, current GIT. So what we can modify is make Rescatux, which is the main script which we use. Okay, so the idea. Okay, so is there anything here relative to Jessie? No, it's make. Okay, so there's Arch i386, and there's just to think about the Linux flavor. So this is one thing I wanted to check, because if I'm not mistaken, if I ever wanted to install, so I'm going to search for Linux kernel. So I'm I'm not sure if this is the right thing to search, because there's the what's the name? There's the Ubuntu guys, which has a name for the kernel packages, and then okay, so maybe it's Linux. Maybe it's Linux. So Ubuntu guys have a name for the Debian package, and the Debian guys have another name. So okay, everything it's Linux. Okay, let's try another thing, which will be so, but I'm not sure that this is going to work. So okay, let's see outside the theatre root, which is going to work. It's going to work easier. So okay, so it's Linux image. Okay, Linux image. So let's suppose that I'm inside the theatre root and I'm looking for Linux image. What do I got? So here I can install okay, so here's a dummy package for 586 586, I don't know how do you pronounce it. So this is a dummy package, so probably this is a virtual package that installs this one and shows a warning about Pentium 5. This is Pentium 5. Yes, so okay, so 5 was Pentium. Yeah, so Stretch. Let's see if there's any news. Issues. Okay, here there is. Minimum requirement for 32-bit Intel is now i686, with a minor exception. So it not longer covers an i586, so it's i6. Some i586 will remain supported. Okay, so we are going to change this into 86. So if you have a Pentium, Rescatux is not going to work for you. Well, the old versions will be, but nowadays having a Pentium is a bit strange because it's very old system. Okay, so one second, I was so let's continue. So this should be 6x6. Okay, so there's one thing that we have fixed, so we can can just add it. Okay, so the diff is right, so no longer supported in Stretch. Okay, so now is 686. So more things that we need to do. Okay, so let's check the make command, which is another important what's the name? Another important file from here it is from Rescatux. So this is sort of a wrapper around live build, so that you build sort of an skeleton, then use it. So you can see that there are some what's this thing? Okay, so another thing, it's the thing for. So I had some custom FEBOOT from SIT. So we will use a stretch FEBOOT MGR. So this is the right thing to do. And then there's the Linux support in live build. So this is one thing I was thinking before. Before I was thinking that some minutes ago I was saying that I was probably missing something around live build, which I will need to have in my implementation, and that's secure enhanced Linux. So secure enhanced secure enhanced Linux is now available in a Stretch, so it's supposed to be easier, but I think that live build does not include as a SE Linux yet. So I will have to figure it out. I will have to figure out if Secure Enhanced Linux needs a patch or not in live build, and I will try to send it to Debian so that it goes into proper Debian and I don't have to maintain this patch on my own. So this is another thing that we will have to take care. So now the main thing is everything that has to do with Jessie repos, Jessie repos. We need to fix it. So what we're going to search around here is Jessie. Okay, so this is Jessie mirror, distribution Jessie its root config. Okay, Jessie main. And as you can see, I already have some stretch mirrors, so this is going to be fun. So okay, let's take a look at the stretch stretch mirror. So there's the stretch. Okay, so everything uses the stretch. So maybe what we need to do is this one, the one about, so let's search with strictly capital letters. So what we want to, maybe what we need to do, just in order to, so that everything gets easier, is this Jessie mirror is going to be if I know how. Okay, so hopefully I'm back, because I was talking alone. I was talking alone. So I have changed. I'm not sure if I have if you will have seen it or not, but I have changed a variable which is Jessie mirror, so that the name is Debian main mirror. I also changed the i5 stuff. So the yeah, I'm back. So the one about this is what I have done about, so the Linux flavors, I have put the 686 instead of 586. So this is Pentium 2 instead of Pentium 1. And so the other thing, what's this variable Jessie mirror? So as it was actually it was something that it was used also from Stretch. So what I have done is just call it Debian main mirror, and that's it. And what more have I done? So remove the last bits of boot repair. So somehow there was some configuration files from some variables for boot repair, but we'll no longer use boot repair, so we have removed it. So the next thing what I was about to do is to change this distribution Jessie. So what you do here is so that the main distribution for live build is a Stretch. So then if you check if you take a look at what this is finding, so this is finding the Jessie here. So there's the Rescatux, and this here you can remove it. So I can remove this because there's already a Stretch line, so I'm going to remove this one. Okay, and so the other lines that I have here, so it's back poked passes are no longer needed in Jessie. Okay, so this I need to remove too. So this one is also in two places, so I have already the same thing with Stretch, so I'm going to remove this. And this Jessie here, I'm going to put Stretch, because it's true that so now I can check which are my changes around here. So working on Rescatux, I had not set anything in the IRC. Okay, so so what I was saying, when no, hit diff. So what you have here, so I can, what we have done is the following thing. So make common, so it's remove or replace, remove Jessie or replace it with Stretch where needed. Okay, so the next thing that we want to do is to remove. So this is the passwd. So this was special backported passwd packages, etc. And so this is, we're not going to use this. So this is all. So we're going just to say, going to just so make command. So removed old unused references to passwd package, because I had to use a passwd package back in the days of Jessie -1, which I don't remember which was the name, maybe Jessie, I think. Okay, so let's continue. So now if we take a look for Jessie, there's not anything. So there are more things that we can check in order to be able to work with Stretch. So there's this thing about preferences. So this is trying to work with sit, and this is trying to work with these packages. Okay, so the idea is to leave this empty, so that we do not have this lying around here. So I'm going to do one commit, and then we are going to be able to go back if needed, but I don't think we are going to need any of this. Maybe some sit packages, but we will see. So maybe we just don't need those preferences. So let's see. So we were going to put like this. So there's going to be one space. So so now if we go hit div, why the hell there should be one space here, isn't it? So the here, why is not detecting a new space? That's curious, because there's a space here, so maybe that's strange. So make common. So remove no longer needed apt pinning preferences in a Stretch. Okay, in a Stretch, yeah, that's the name of the distro. Stretch. Okay, so what more things we have around here? Let's take a look and make common. So okay, we have trusty because the boot repair. Am I blind? Am I blind? Am I blind? Okay, I don't know how to talk. Okay, so this is because I was doing sensitive search before, so I missed this search, but I prefer doing this. So yet another yet another removed boot repair reference. So if someone wants to add back boot repair into its own Rescatux fork, he's going to be mad at me because it's not everything in one single commit, and one part is in the Jessie part and another part is in the stretch part, but hopefully when I add it in one single commit. Anyway, so more things. Let's see if there's more things that I can think right now that I could use. There's the, if I'm not mistaken, there's the sit stuff. So when you, so here there is some sit pref. So the idea is that as you can see here, there's a sit.chroot config, which is here. So this is going to, and there are some preferences. So maybe we need to remove them, and then if we need them later on, we can turn them on. But if we do not need them, we're going to remove them. Okay, so I'm going to remove them right now, and later on we will see if we put them again. So yeah, so this is the sit. And this is the sit. Okay, and if I search like this, there's the sit mirror, which I had a snapshot to that it did not make me crazy, because sit has new packages, removes etc. So okay, so now I'm going to save this change into my repo. So now it's removed any reference to sit. So which hopefully won't be needed. Okay, so okay, so I'm back. So simple recorder has ended without no reason. So I think there has been not many things around here which were interesting. So okay, so let's continue make common. So there's this thing to, so tails greeter. Okay, so let's see if there's anything more about repos, so that we have more or less everything in place. So there's the Rescatux repo. There's, okay, so there's these things about PHP source and so on. So this I saw this before, and I do not need it. So this has, okay, so there's the Linux packages, which I think I also need to remove. So first of all, I'm going to remove the THNT stuff, which we no longer use from this stuff. It was we no longer use. So because we use it, we fetch them from repo. So I'm going to save this second. So remove the init references. Now we fetch the package from our repo, from Rescatux repo. Okay. So more things that we need to do. There's to think about Linux, was it? So there's this Linux packages, which I'm not sure what Linux packages. Is there a variable about Linux packages? Or is it something that... So okay, Linux packages, I guess that there's a source version of the packages somewhere, because there's no such thing about Linux packages. So so make Rescatux source Rescatux common packages and then calls make common. So Rescatux common packages, which I'm going to show right now. Rescatux common packages. Okay. So has the Linux packages, if I'm not right. If I'm not wrong, I mean. Okay, so back in the day I removed the Linux packages and I put them in Rescap, and then I removed them from Rescap. So what happens right now is that these packages are not found here. So I need to put them again, but yes, but the stretch ones, and the stretch ones I have hopefully yeah, so the stretch ones I have written them down, but I'm not sure if I need all of them. And what I want to understand, so this is the boot, so I want to understand, because I'm pretty sure that Linux is not going to work by default, but I want to know. So I think this is in order to install Linux. So let's take a look at the Rescap repo, which is around here. This is the Rescap repo. So the Rescap repo, which is currently in Debian. So let's see the master, because I like the master version better, which does not have the Debian directory. So this is supposed to have the packages. Now the packages are in Debian Dev. So here in Debian Dev there's the control. Here there are dependencies. So in earlier version there was the Linux dependencies, okay, and there was every one of them. So I will need to take these dependencies, these packages, but as I want to do this more or less from scratch, what I need to do is to so it's to what I need to do is to go to GitHub Rescatux. So GitHub Rescatux back in the day, and this is in the Jessie branch, and this is before removing Rescap. So this is remove Rescap files and folder from when Rescap was included. So okay, maybe this one. So this removes a lot of things. So as you can see, there should be a Linux stuff around here. So this is Linux packages. So this is what we are missing in and down here there was the Linux. So the parent was this commit, and if we browse files at this commit and we go into the Rescatux common packages, we can copy and paste, but actually we're going to do this what's the name, from scratch, but I want to have somehow the Linux packages around here. So this is new things, so we can put them like this. And the other thing, so how do we use it? So we use it, where are the Linux? We use it like this. So now around here you can use Linux packages. Okay, so what I have seen, and this is my doubt, so Linux Stretch. So here's a block which talks on how to enable Linux in, so he's very excited, supports Linux, secure and Linux. So he's very excited, and he says about the things that you need only 2 packages, which are these 2. So we're going to try to work with only these 2 packages, but this is wrong if I'm not mistaken, because if you take a look and you search inside, if you search inside the chroot and you say, okay, search me for Linux, which was Linux Basics, something like that. Okay, I always have more than I need. So okay, go back to the block. Linux -basic. So I'm going to search Linux -basic, and you're going to see that the actual name is Linux -basics with an S, and the other one is correct. It's audit. So now I'm going to paste this here. So this is basics, and I'm going to paste this here. So this is audit, and we remove all of this. So I had added a policies thing when moving this into Rescatux, another package, but we will try to work with this package. So now I'm going to commit, so that we have this package around us. So Rescatux common packages. So make sure a stretch Linux packages are installed. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is to remove it. Okay, so this is counterintuitive, but the idea is that we don't want Linux yet, because we are not sure how it's going to work, if it's going to work okay or not. So this is what I'm going to try to make, or maybe not. So I'm not sure. So okay. So the idea is, let me see if I can. So the idea is that first of all, this doesn't need to go here, so I can maybe what I'm going to do is to put this here like this. Temporary Linux Linux disabled. Okay, so Linux package is going to be empty, and so there's not going to. And the other thing is that Linux packages. So we're going to comment this Linux packages. So here, okay, so here we don't want all of this stuff. So I'm going to remove Linux security enforcement 0. Okay. So I'm going to remove this because else I'm not sure where to save this. So I'm removing it. Okay. So maybe I should also remove this one, and that's it. And later on we will figure it out. So maybe, yeah, so maybe we can make a commit, and then just put everything into the same place again, something like that. So Linux packages. So now I can. So now I can. What's the name? Wait a moment, please. Now I can make a commit about this change, which is make. So this was make common and Rescatux common packages. Linux was removed to be added later. Okay, so this is the part from Linux, so that it builds. So then there's the tails greeter stuff. I think so. Make common. There should be something about the tails greeter somewhere. So there's the tails greeter package, and somewhere else I guess that, yeah, so here I copy it somewhere. Okay, so we're going to remove this, and we will add it in the future. So yeah, and so the other thing that we need to do is to remove the kernel parameter about, where are the kernel parameter? Here. So here there's the live config no auto login, but we want auto login because else we're not going to see the desktop. So this is one thing that we need to do. So I think that we have finished here, so maybe And Rescatux common packages, there's the tails greeter packages. So we're going to remove them also, and we will have tails greeter removed to be added later. Okay, so these are all the packages which I had written down so that it was easier not to have a bigger ISO, but I'm not sure what I'm going to do this. So yeah, so I have removed them. So now I go, you have guessed it, I'm going to make what's the name, commit. So tails greeter was removed to be added later. So as I'm not good at this, I have not added this. Okay, so next thing that let's continue checking the Rescatux the make command file. Let's see if there's anything suspicious that it's going to give us some problems in Rescatux. So there's also the scale thing, which I mean, this is stretch root config. So this is config archives stretch list root stretch pref root, and this is what what's the name, Intriguery from Tails has a video talking in French, saying bad things about the live build developer, upstream developer back in the day, because he was always changing these kinds of things. He was also changing the name of the options when using LB or LH or whatever. So he was a bit pissed about this. So maybe when I'm going to build everything, there are some paths that are going to change, and I will have to go here and see how I change them so that everything fits right. Okay, but we will see later. Okay, so this is the live helper list folder. So back in the day it was live helper list, and this is lists. So okay, so let's see, there's nothing here. So I'm going to remove this line because we don't need this. So I'm going to remove so that the code is easier to read. So make common, so I'm going to put here, so removed old unused live line. Okay, so this is removed, and we can continue to search for more stuff. I'm curious about this Rescatux. Okay, this is for the folders. Okay, so I do not know. I think that there's nothing more to worry about. So this is live. So these moves are based on the finally image is going to be named like this. Maybe there's an option in other, so that this is more easy, more so that this is direct and I don't have to do moves and so on. But I think I prefer to do moves. So what I want to say, what I want to say is that I think we have finished this. So this was for Lani. Okay, this is for a squeeze. So removed. Okay, so let's remove some this is another one which is nom-core. Okay. Initial lbconfig copy auto example. Okay, so we're going to do another commit. So this is going to be remove what's the name? Removed all lines, old unused old lines from make common. Okay, so now I think we can try to build an ISO and see what happens with it. Then there's the task LXD desktop stuff. We're going to look at this later. So first of all, we're going to check if this is going to work, and then we will check every one of this. Okay, so let's what's the thing? So let's build this. Okay, so in order to build this, there's another thing that we need to do. So here there's so there's this folder called live build, which is used as temporary directory where everything gets put. So as you can see, you need some special rights in order for this to work. So and this live build has a packages cache, which I do not want. So we can check just in case something is mounted here, but I just put it so there should not be anything here mounted. So what I'm going to do is, as I know it's a temporary directory, I'm going to remove live build. Okay, and now if I do hit status, it's going to say that it's missing a file, and this file is the so the hit ignore. So I create a directory and I take it from, wait a second, what I'm doing wrong here. Okay, I'm going to do it like maybe I was missing something, so I'm going to do it like this. I was probably having leather. Okay, so path spec. I'm curious to know. Hit ignore. Okay, I don't know. It's strange. I don't know why. I don't actually know why. That's it. So now, for the first time in history, no, that's not. For the first time in history, we're going to build Rescatux in a stretch through its root, and everything is set up so that it works in its root. So we're going to see how it fails miserably. or something like this. So this has begun to build, and hopefully the live build which is found in the Stretch is similar enough to the one found in Jessie, and we do not have too many problems. Once the ISO is going to be generated in more than 1 hour, I think, I'll check what's the size for it, and I'll check if it boots. I'll check if I can move the mouse in the desktop. I'll check if more or less there are programs that I care about, and yes, that's what I want to check once the ISO is done. So let's check if the live stream is working. I think it is. And okay, let's see. Okay. Yeah, so the live stream is working. Yeah. So there's nobody in the Debian live chat. So yeah. And I think there's nobody in the YouTube chat. But well, anyway. So I'm thinking that we can study how to, while it builds, we can study how to modify LXQT, or how tails greeter should be modified, or if so the part from Linux support live build. Maybe I'm going to do this one because I do not want to stay more time, so I think that we won't wait for the build to complete in this stream. I will try to tell you what happened in the next stream. And so what I'm going to do right now is to take a quick look at my live build, what's the name, my live build hack, my live build fork, and we will see what happens. Okay, so live build hack, what's the live, okay, so git have Rescatux live build. Okay, so here we should have so we have a lot of branches. So we have the FE support, rebase till it was perfect. Then there was some, so each time that I had to do my modifications, so I used some of this. So the last one is for the thing, and then there's the tags. So the last one that I use is this one. So this one should have some interesting stuff. So this is the I don't know, one about int mod video all. Okay. Make syslinux grid FE the default server. This is UFI reboot, DFI reboot, support FE, more stuff for UFI reboot, binary loopback CFG, function bootloaders, primary bootloaders. And this is not from me, this is from Klausenbosk and so on. There are other changes around here. So loopback CFG support. I think that this one is already in Debian. Then there's the multi-bootloader support. This is, I'm not sure what this means. Okay, so this was an original attempt of making the multi-bootloader thing. So to be able to choose two bootloaders at the same time. So there is something which I'm missing, which is the Linux. So I'm thinking that maybe the package that it changed was liveboot, but I'm not sure. So let's go back to live build. So 6 Linux, okay, TMP 6 Linux. So here there should be something, but the problem is September 25. September 25. So if I go into the tag, the last tag, and I search for September 25. Okay, 2015, sorry. September, so it should be around here, and it is not. So I'm not sure. So if you take a look at documentation, which is this README, you will see that I say that I use Rescatux, and this is the last one. So you see Linux. So you see that I use Linux in 040 beta 4. So you are supposed, if you go into this tag, you're supposed to find Linux. So I'm going to search for Linux here, which is not finding anything, and I'm going to search for older entries, and I don't think it's going to find anything, and I'm going to find for older ones. So Linux, so it's not finding, so it's quite strange, because I'm quite confident that Rescatux nowadays supports Linux, but maybe in the meantime, while I was trying to build this stuff, well, so okay, so Linux live build support. So I sent an email where is it? Okay, I'm going to search for my own name, because I sent an email about this, and I said, where the hell do I need to? So this is Linux support. So this is when I released Linux support on chroot options. So this was fixed in this version, so 14 beta 1. In 14 beta 1 this option existed, and so this is something that I sent to Linux. So this is where I worked, and nobody else. Okay, nobody else answered me, and okay, so this is the one. Okay, this is the one that works. So this is Rescatux 40 beta 1. So okay, so what I'm saying here is that let's see how the build is going, by the way. So this is building here stuff. Okay, it's kind of finishing, I think. Let's take a look later. So how to enable it or not. So it's enabled by default. If you want permissive of okay, well, that's something that, so these are these 4 commits, and this was the tag which is beta 1, which I can take a look at this, and yeah, so the tag, so if I take a look at the commits, there are four commits. Why the hell did it mention 4 of them? 1 second. What's the 4th commit? Where is it? Okay, so let's, so multiple bootloader support. Maybe I squashed them, but I don't think so. So this is one commit, which is the 42 one. It's not here. What the hell? Maybe I crushed. I squashed all of the commits. So as you can see here, I added some Linux permissive fs stuff. And there's the chcon set files chroot, so that the squashfs has the extended attributes, so that everything inside the squashfs works with Linux, so that then you can work with other files, so that I don't have to manually set the permissions, but it will detect the ones from the system. So this is the what you're supposed to do, so that this works. So if this is right, so this is scripts build binary root fs. Okay, so if I go into the code and I go into the one which is supposedly the one I'm using right now, the 14 beta 7, if I go into scripts build binary, so let's go there, the scripts build binary root fs, sorry, so binary root fs, let's see if there's anything about Linux, So if I search here about Linux, okay, so this is the Linux remove, but there's nothing about this Linux permissive, which is the one which I was using, or something like that. Because yeah, I use this files. Yeah, so it's very strange because I'm quite confident that Rescatux. So this is I'm quite surprised. So maybe I have another branch somewhere, which is check if Rescatux and have or not what's the name? Linux support. Apparently what was the one? Where I am. Apparently from live build branch from live which has it, but what's this one? Let me search for it. So do not remember. So the branch, the tag is 40 beta 7. So this is branch tag. So I don't know. I'm going to take a quick look around live build because I think I have something around here. So maybe it's a project. So live build. So hit live build. So this is FE support based on Debian CD rebased. So if I do hit lock and search for Linux, this is from 2013, so it's not obvious. Linux and Linux. So this is So this is probably what I have used to build these custom packages, and these are installed into the Jessie th root. So nobody is trying my betas, because if you were a Fedora Rescatux user, you will have checked that Linux support was not working, and then I could have added it back to it. But nobody checks my betas. I'm angry at the people that do not. If you check the beta and you find a bug, you go to the issues. Okay, you go to the issues here. Where is it? Rescatux. Issues, and you report the issues. There are 48 issues, but many of them are enhancements. Okay, this cannot be. There are like 14 books that I have to check, or like that. Maybe a lot of them are already fixed, but report it. If it doesn't work, report it, because I'm not a magician that knows that everything goes well. I know that you should have tests and so on. So okay, So we need to add Linux. Okay, so Linux support in live build. So we need to check that everything. So send to. Okay, so now let's focus. So what we need to check, what we were doing, it's what's building this. So hopefully so here there is, I cannot start these packages, I cannot start this hybrid ISO. So probably, okay, here's the problem. Failed to fetch Rescatux source forge. Okay, so it's failing the stretch repo. So this makes sense because I think this is not built right. Okay, so this makes sense. So what I need to do is to build my packages inside the stretch repo. But first of all, let's take a look at the repo. So the repo does not have a stretch, but I assure you that the hit version does build in a stretch. That's because it works. So what we need to do is to create this stretch def. So now we are going to kind of develop Rescap and not so th. So in its stretch def we create th and tplw, and we create what is the name, th histoire Rescap. And the other thing that we need to do is going around here, which is the dists. Okay, so if you take a look at dists, Jessie def main binary i3, so I can do a make dir with parents and put here a stretch. So now we are this is the layout is fixed. So now I have to copy the packages here. So in order to copy the packages here, I need to build them, and this is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to do, I'm here in the th root, so I'm going to go, so this is going to be the place where I build Rescatux, and this is the place where I'm going to play with what's the name of it, which I play with Rescap and so on. So here's Rescap. Okay, okay, so here's the Rescap. So I go to a temporary file and I say, what's Hypoted Life? What the hell is doing this here? Let's remove it. So okay, let's focus. So we're going to build what's the name? We're going to build th thing, and this thing it's documented somewhere. So GitHub Rescatux res th in it. Okay, it has fixed it for me. So sorry. Okay, so I have here this special branch which is how to build a package, which has this special txt which you can use directly because that's it works like this. So let's go into this. Let's see what happens. Probably it's going to be missing and everything is going to fail. But let's suppose it's not. Let's suppose it's not. Okay. So now this is going to have some little package USLC. This is going to have some, yeah. So this is missing something. So this is missing this one as a build dependency. So we install it inside the chroot. Once I have installed this, there's going to be another one which is going to fail, probably. Or two packages. I think it was two packages which were failing. Actually, there's a command or sort of a script in order to be able to show what are the packages which depends on a given package. Then you install them, and it's more clever than what I'm doing right now, right here. Okay. So now it seems it likes to build this. Okay, so it has finished. So now I'm going to build Rescap. So the build Rescap has also so Rescatux Rescap has also a what's the name? So it's I also, so here in the install file there's an explanation on how to build this, and it's the same explanation that it's in the other place. So what we need to do is to do this, and but there's something different, because the last version of this, it's not this one but another one. So the last tag is this one. So it's okay, I cannot see. Okay, is this one. So we're going to use it. So I'm going to why the hell let's not replace this. So I'm going to replace this version which this other one is. Yeah, that's it. And now I can copy and paste so that it's easier for me in order to build. Okay, so build Rescap. So we just copy and paste, and it's going to fetch everything where it belongs. So I could do this offline and so on, but I prefer I'm going to do it like this because I prefer. So now I can do a sudo dpkg build package. What was the, yeah, maybe if you are not root, you don't have it. Build package with D. Okay, let's see if it likes it or something is missing here. It seems not. Okay, so now if we go around here, so this is the repo where we want to put the packages, and if you go into ch in the stretch chroot tmp, yeah, build finish, we have the packages, and in build rescap we have the packages too. So we just have to copy them in the right place in our repo. Okay, and this is the rescap part, which is also build, and probably some of these files are not needed, like changes or DCC, but anyway. And now if you go into repo, I open a terminal, a quick terminal, and I've got this update repo, but this update repo needs to be updated because I have added a stretch and this is not found. So this needs to be a stretch and a stretch def. So I'm going to create the stretch, which will be the stable one in the future, maybe. Okay, and as you can see, the Debian part is only i368 because it's the one which I use to build Rescatux. So okay, so so this will be a stretch and a stretch th thing and rescap, because it's the same thing that we found here, we find here. And then if you go into this, what we can do is just, now that I have not built all the files, so just do a copy. So I have the main binary stuff and it's empty. So now that the update repo is updated, I can run it, and this is going to generate. If you go into stretch def, sorry, if you go into this stretch def main binary, it's going to generate packages and sources so that packages are found. And now I'm going to push this into the repo, and I'm going to do it in my non-public screen. Okay, let me see if I can make sure this is working as expected. So first of all, I need to run this command, which is going to create me a shell for SourceForge. Okay, so now it's creating it, and now I'm going to open FileZilla in order to push the repo. And let's see if I'm not mistaken. Okay. Okay, so it seems that it makes sense. Now, so now I'm going to upload these files, and maybe the, what's the name? Maybe the stream is going to suffer a little because the bandwidth is going to be, but I can fix this. Okay, well, actually the upload bandwidth it's not so big, or is it? Yeah, maybe it is, but I don't want to be here all the night. So the idea is to be able, so what we want now is to just run, where is it? Just run the make command and see if it works. Okay, but first of all, these new files, these new packages need to be uploaded into the repo. So, well, there's this thing about Linux which I didn't know. There's greater live build hacks. There's LXQT. So this is still uploading stuff. So hopefully it ends soon and I can try to, what's the name? Try to start a build. Maybe I could start a build so that it begins to do some stuff, or maybe not. Because yeah, there's too many packages which is trying to upload, and I don't know. So let me show you what was the thing about live build and so on. So live build, so this is the tag about 40 beta 7. So if you take a look at this tag and you go to its commits, no, not this one, the one which is beta 1. If you take a look at these commits, you can see the one about Linux, and I can explain to you why the hell. So this is okay, so upload has finished, so now I can start the build again. Here it is. Go and try to be quick and fast, or fast. So going to explain you. So there was already a Linux, but was not something that worked, so I added this thing. So what's Linux impermissive file system? So install, remove, install. So the other thing it's that when you want to create squashfs, you want to make sure that thcon file exists so that you can check permissions, and that set files exists so that you can set permissions. And then there's this thing about file context that I'm not sure why we need them. And this is probably the most important one, is that the squashfs needs to have extended attributes, else you cannot have something, you cannot have mounted something which is which doesn't have this Linux stuff, and that doesn't have this. So somewhere there's a set files, okay, chroot, and you bless maybe this is recursive and false, so I think you bless everything inside here, and you use these contacts as contacts, and this chroot again, which I'm not sure, and you also make sure that proc_sys has the system U, else it's not going to work well. And this is more stuff about how to Linux, how to add this. And once again, somewhere else, so this is maybe is for hard disk, and the other one is for CD-ROM, I don't know. And this is me not doing a good commit, because this is two spaces that do not need to go into this commit. So maybe there's the thing. Maybe it's Linux, maybe this was not needed. So this is building, I think this is building, no, this has failed once again. Why? What the hell? What the hell? Enable to locate package Linux image AMD64. What are you telling to me? What are you telling to me? This has no sense. So straight to the chroot. What? What's the name for AMD is AMD6? What the hell? What's I'm doing wrong here? So I think I need to add architecture. So probably add into the documentation that when using live build or make Rescatux, it's make underscore, yeah, make underscore underscore Rescatux. You need, what I'm not sure is why it didn't work. You need to add architecture to your it's so this is something which is multi-arch. So this is the famous, this is famous multi-arch. So dpkg multi-arch add, okay, so here there is, they have the worst example. ARMH if nobody use this. Yes, there are people who use it, but either is AMD64 or is it or it's the other one. So now inside the chroot we run as root this command and apt-get update, because else you won't be getting the AMD64 packages. And I think that if you don't do anything, what it's going to use by default, it's going to be the the default ones, which is the i386 packages, i386. So now we're going to try again, and let's see if it works. Okay, so I think I already show you this thing, the already show you the Linux support, and there's something about the repo which needs to be fixed now that I think of, which is the README. So this README has to has an entry about the stretch. Okay, so I'm going to clone this entry, and this is going to be stretch 9 for a stretch, and this needs to be a stretch def. And day of tomorrow that they have stable packages, I will just update it, and now I make this public and I'm done. So let's see if I can do this. Okay, now I'm updating this file which I have updated, and okay, so the build has finished. There should be another error somewhere, I guess. False, yes. Okay, so the Linux image AMD64 continues not to be found. So Linux image AMD64. So maybe there's something. Maybe. So there was someone on the Debian Live thing searching for this, I think. So Debian Live mailing list. Yeah, and multi-arch. Is it going to find anything? Multi-arch live CDs. 2013. Okay. This 2013. Okay, I think it's this one. So architectures, I think. Okay, this is exactly my same problem. This is exactly my same problem, and I think it was fixed somehow. Maybe not. So here it talks about the Debian, and so the next by thread, so they answer them that because now we're going to use like wrapper and so on. So next by thread, live wrapper. So this is Michael Dot. Okay, so MD64. What the hell? Okay, so MD64 kernel package no longer a 32-bit repository started with a stretch. That makes sense. You can exist x64 by enable MD64 in Arch and installing Linux image MD64. It's worth a try for Linux flavors argument. So maybe this is what we need to do. So if I'm not mistaken, so what we want to do, and this is not going to work because this is too. So okay, so let's continue. Okay, so there's nothing more. So what look at this, how awful this is. Look at this, how awful this is. Wait a moment, I'm recording. Look at this. So it may come where's the make common? Yeah. Linux flavors. So I have already turned on the foreign architecture. So now in make Rescatux you've got these Linux flavors. So 686 and MD64. But what I want to install is another package, which is this one. So if what I put here is what was, so this is what actually is happening, hopefully, in the back. So if you take a look and you search and say that it's the red root for Linux image, you're going to find Linux image 686. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is, okay, I remove the Linux x86. and I remove Linux image. And this is the Linux flavors which I'm going to test, and I'm not sure this is going to work even if you do like this. Okay, so I'm not sure this is going to work, and I'm going to be surprised if live build managed to eat this hack. This is a hack. Okay, so let's hope this works, or something similar, or maybe it does not work. But if it works, it's going to be fun. Okay, so binary packages configure multitude times. Okay, so these are warnings which I think we can ignore them. Okay, stretch.list. Maybe there should not be an stretch.list. So I think we have managed. I think we have managed to do something, because I'm seeing more stuff than I'm seeing more stuff than there was needed. So maybe, okay, package is not found. Okay, well, that makes sense, because I do not have MD64. Okay, maybe there's an error, because maybe it's not the same one as always. Okay, so let's see. Failed to fetch binary MD64, but I do not have it. Why do you want MD64? Because there are two architectures. If I want to install this from the i6, okay, don't worry, I don't care. So update repo, which I want to open. So this is going to create here the MD64, and I'm going to create some stuff. So here I do not need anything. So I mean, in the Jessie def, I think I don't need anything, but here I need something. So this channel def main binary. Okay, so this is going to be a stretch def. Now, yeah, so mkdir p. So this is going to be also in stretch and in Jessie and Jessie def, even if there are no packages. So we're going to provide both of the so update repo. What we want is to have here yeah, so MD64. So this should create here stuff. Yeah, so let's see. So I run repo, sorry, I run update repo, and it's going to do stuffs. Now I'm going to update the repo accordingly. So we are not going to have the MD64 packages on our repo, because I think that we do not need them. But yeah, so that's it. So I think I can safely begin to build this. Hopefully it will detect some a package's cache, and it's not going to download anything again. It's going to be fast, and I will be able to have an ISO, and we will yeah, we will be able to work with this. Okay. I'm curious why it insists in reading the AMD 64. So now, as you can see, it's reading the okay. And this is seems it's working. So hopefully it makes sense, all of this. So now it's taking the where is it? It's taking THN PW from Rescatux source, and the Rescap 1 should be taken also. Is this one? Yeah. Rescap 386 is also taken from our repo, from the stretch dev packages. So everything is right. This begins to make sense. So you need to reply to this guy, and what we have to do is so the answer is okay, so the answer is this thing and the one from which is make Rescap, so the Linux flavors. So let's see what's let's see the question. So like this. So before, okay, after, and so you use it like this, like if it was not a problem, like this. No problem, man, it's no problem. Okay, so you use it like this, and it works. So I need to reply to this man, so that it's happy. Maybe I can, or maybe not. Maybe I can try to send the mail while this is building, so that it works. Okay. So now you're not seeing anything, but now I'm going back to here. So Okay, so Debian Live. Where is my Debian Live? So in the screen you are not seeing. I'm will reply to this man. So okay. Reply to all. So thanks. So I run into your same problems, and thanks to the MERT, what's the name? Thanks to the MERT advice, I was able to work it out. First of all, you need to add foreign MD64 architecture to your installation feature. Okay. And finally, what it used to be in your case, now it should be replaced with the other one. Okay, so that's it. Enjoy. Okay, so this Bowden Roads is going to be able to build multi-arch live CD as I'm doing right now. I'm not sure if it's going to boot right, but yeah. So okay. So waiting for. So we are going to end here the stream. Hopefully I will tell you if it works or if it does not work, if the ISO is too big, if whatever. So that's it. I'm going to close, going to check quick if if this is streaming well. Okay, why I'm not listening to anything? No. Why the hell this is not? Okay, yeah, the audio works, but I don't know why. And well, I'm not going. I'm not going. I'm not leaving yet. I'm not leaving you yet because I've come. There's something missing, which is the GTI command. No, it's just so this is documentation. I will write it another day because I'm tired, but make sure this extra kernel is fetched from its AMD60 foreign architecture. This is needed in a stretch. Okay, so that's it. Maybe documentation, we could add documentation, but I will add another day. So this is doing stuff, great stuff. Okay, so now I should be able to stop the streaming. Okay, so thank you everyone for being here, for what's the name, for listening to my English, which could be improved a lot, and hopefully this will build okay. So see you the next time, the next episode. Bye.